For the first thing, I'm gonna ask you find the area of each. In reality, area is how many squares we can fit in there. Now, the size of the squares depends on what type of measurement I'm using. If I want miles squared, like give me the area in square miles, each squared is 1 mile by 1 mile. If I ask you give me the area in square inches, then each squared is 1 inch by 1 inch. In your kitchen, right? Most kitchens have squares. So I could ask you, what's the area of your kitchen? Just go ahead and count the squares. Most kitchens have squares and they tend to be 1 foot by 1 foot. So there could be a difference. There could be a difference, but in that case, the area of a kitchen is by square feet. Again, the squares are 1 foot by 1 foot. Like say your phone, we can get the area of a phone by square inches. Right? We get squares, 1 inch by 1 inch, and we figure how big is your phone. Now, a city, right, or a state. Now that one I'm not gonna use square inches or square feet, because there are too many squares. Instead, that one I'm gonna use square miles. Okay, so for the first thing, let's see. I'm gonna give you graph figures like this one, question number 1, and I'm asking find the area of each. In reality, I'm asking how many squares are there? And I expect you to count them. Like seriously, just count them. Like looking at this question number 1, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Okay. So again, my question is, how many squares are there? Like when it says find the area of each, how many squares are there? My answer in this case will be 28. Like seriously, that's all I'm asking, just counting the squares. Now, notice how I put the numbers. I literally put 1, 2, 3, 4. I literally put the numbers there so you could see that I was counting. Now, I don't expect you to do that. Like just going and counting, just point with your finger and count. You don't have to write on it. I'm really just asking, count the squares. Now, question number 2, you might be like, whoa, these are kind of like too many. I'm afraid I might get confused. Okay, so if that's the case, break it into smaller sections. What I mean with that is, I'm just going to look at this section right here. I can count the squares, right? It's not too hard. I can count the squares, and I'm going to count that there are 6 squares. And then I look at this other section here. We can count the squares. In my case, I count 10. All right, we can count them. We can count the squares. And then I look at this big section down here. And I count 26 squares on that one. So like I said, if you guys are like, oh my God, this is a lot of counting. I'm gonna lose track. I'm gonna lose count. Then break it into smaller sections. I broke it into 3 sections. Now, let me just add all of them. So I'm gonna go 6 plus 10 plus 26. Right? Notice again, I broke it into smaller sections. And now let me add my sections. And I'm gonna say there happen to be 42 squares here. Don't think that, oh my God, there's too many. Break it into sections that are easier. Okay, so let me zoom out again. When I ask find the area, I am just asking how many squares are there.